because he decided that, he didn't like criticism and so on, he decided that he's going to make it a religion. And I think it's dangerous that anybody can make a religion.
I do too, especially without a public benefits test, because religion is, anybody, and the thing is, anybody can make a religion. The thing about religion, I mean, if you really step back and look at religion, I mean, you're just talking about it's not just a belief set, but it does start with that. It eventually grows into a culture. And that's where cult comes from.
Yes.
Culture. It's not just a set of ideas. And this is something that is, it seems to be not well understood in the online atheist world. So I sort of throw it out as a little bit of a criticism, because it's a multi-layered thing, right? And anybody really can start one if you can come up with a set of ideas and get other people to start, glomming onto and believing them. You're away. It's that easy.
What Scientology is just bare bones. It's just a money-making scheme. That's it. Yep. I mean, to be able to have to prepay for services should tell everyone that it's a business. If you're getting a sale because you're buying a package, it should tell you it's a business.
Yeah.
Exactly. No church tells you have to prepay. But when you have to prepay for a service, or you have to pay to receive counseling from, not even your pastor, but from someone else, and you're paying so much money for this, it's a business. There's no way else of saying it.
In the United States, it's a cultural problem in the U.S. I mean, you understand, it's not just Scientology. We have a cult problem, and it's not just in the United States that we have a cult problem. It's part of our nature that we have a cult problem, but it is institutionalized in the United States because of the it's the flip side of the coin to freedom of religion. And freedom of thought, freedom of belief, freedom of speech. When you give people unlimited freedoms like that, and they're not unlimited, but they are certainly much more broadly realized and practiced in America than they are in other areas of the world, where governments or long-term institutions like the Catholic Church or others can mandate behavior, can mandate belief. Not so much in the U.S. and the tradition is a bit different here. So we might go too far the other direction. That is true. And I'm not on some big, U.S. versus the rest of the world statement here. I'm just trying to compare and contrast. And the flip side of that, those freedoms is you're going to have abuses of those freedoms. The difficulty of our culture, one of the mainline difficulties of the American society is the constant public argument and debate over drawing where should the line be in the sand as to where you've gone too far. And the line's constantly shifting. Context shifts the line. Times and cultural values and morals shift the line. And we're seeing the line shifting, like, with abortion, stuff like that. Certain gender issues are certainly shifting in American culture, because of changes. And this cult stuff is all part of that. It's all wrapped up in this. So it's kind of a consequence of that. Hubbard studied or knew about, and also let's not forget, Hubbard grew up in the early 1900s. He was born in 1911 in the Midwest. The world's very different place in 1911.
Yes.
I can't stress that enough.
Yes.
The things that were important in that time period and when Hubbard was growing up, religiously, culturally, what was on people's minds, the things people talked about, were incredibly different from what is on people's minds now. In
Yes.
terms of religion, okay? Because remember, this is the time when spiritualism, when Madame Blavatsky and theosophy and theology, and this is the time when Christian Science was coming up. You know, there were a lot of spiritual-based philosophies and ideas being thrown around. And this was a threat to the church, which is why fundamentalism came around at this time period. The fundamentalists are based on a series of books called the Fundamentals, which were written in response to this rise of alternate beliefs. Part of those alternate beliefs, and this involves Aleister Crowley and his belief system, right, Thelema, and which became the OTO, the Ordo Templi Orientis, were on this whole spiritualism philosophy. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Hubbard was a student of all this stuff.
Yes.
He built Scientology on the back of Blavatsky and Crowley and 18th, 19th century spiritualism.
Yes.
And there's a concept in here that's really important, which mixes in with much earlier practices, Gnosticism, Gnostic practices. I don't want to throw too many words around, but this stuff is all kind of a hash. Scientology is kind of a hash of this earlier stuff mixed in with Hubbard's crazy ideas. So what you have is a system not just of a static belief set, but you have a series of steps that you're supposed to ascend. And this is built on this philosophy of ascendant masters, that you're going to be able to go up levels of indoctrination or levels of awareness and ability that you're going to climb like these stairs. And in Scientology, this is referred to as a bridge. Instead of a staircase, they make an analogy of a bridge across a chasm of darkness and ignorance to a place of better understanding and spiritual enlightenment. And that bridge is a series of ever-increasing, costing money, right? It's more and more expensive as you go. But that's the basic concept and what it's built on. So that's how Scientology is practiced, is that these classes and the auditing it's not just you walk in one day and they tell you all about Xenu. Right? It's in South Park, right? It's not like that. You have to climb the steps to get there. And those steps are going to cost you money. They are going to take time, and they are going to require a lot of dedicated effort on your part, because there are loyalty tests along the way. Right? You're not going to get through this gate until we know that we can trust you to keep our secrets. Et cetera, right? And there are a lot of levels in Scientology. It's not just 2 or 3 steps. It's more like about 25 or 30.
So by the time you actually get to Xenu or learning about Xenu, that's when they know they can trust you, because you're so far in that might as well finish.